Hello there everyone, welcome back to another Gate Ruler video. It is Saturday, which means it's time for another review of this week's new reveals. And, well, we got some spice, we got a legend, and we also got, I think, a card that everyone is massively sleeping on. But before I get started, I want to let you know, if you are excited about set 3 and you want to pre-order, this video is sponsored by Triple Sleeve TCG. Please use my affiliate link in the description if you want to pick up any products from set 3. I recommend you do, it's looking kind of good. And of course, if you do that, then that helps support the channel, as I get a little bit of a fee. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, even if you don't want to support me that way. Yeah, watching the video is plenty. Also, thank you to Sundial, my Simian Love supporter. If you would rather just give me some money straight up, you can do what he's doing. And anyway, that's enough with the shilling. Let's go ahead and get started. So I shall move over here. So, first we have Akagi of Centipedes. So this is a supernatural beast business demon lord. It is a level 0240. So the headline stat there really is the HP. It has concealment. This can be normal summoned from your set zone. So immediately here, synergies are going to be with Darumageddon decks and with the Crime Lord Kutar. Easy to get paid. When your opponent plays an event of level 1 or greater, you may special summon this from the set zone. If you do, choose one of your opponent's set cards and destroy it. This is a very interesting card. Now, of course, we have seen that sets are just getting absolutely bullied in set 3. So, you know, the odds of your opponent setting something are probably not fantastic nowadays. But, you know, who knows? We might see some sets come out that are really worth playing. Realistically, though, I think this is better as a deterrent. And I think, in that sense, it's going to be really nice in Coup d'etat, because you don't have to pick it. You just have to show it. You just have to go, hey, I'm playing this. If you want to set something, feel free, but no, it might get removed. And then you don't even have to play it. It's a really good mind game tool in that sense. And, you know, the effect is good. And even if you don't use it, like, it's a 240. It's not bad. I think if it was a 250, it would have been way too good. So, you know, I think it's fine. And then, you know, consider the attributes, in particular, Demon Lord, Beast, and Supernatural, very relevant. You know, stick this in a Yobako. Genesis this away. Like, it's there are plenty of options. So, yeah, I think this is a very good card. Absolutely. On a similar theme, we have here Oxoni Mugoku. So this is a supernatural beast, level 1, 4/3/3. I think this is our first level 1 unit with 3 strike in the game. So that is pretty scary. It has force concealment, and it cannot be normal summoned. Makes sense. When this would be sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card effect while set, you may special summon it. So here we see the sort of set that is probably very likely to see play, or maybe unlikely to see play, depending, well, like once we get to the meta stage where people are outplaying the outplaying. But at the moment, this is an obvious outplay because of everything, and you know everyone's removing sets. Well, I'm going to play something that's going to let me get this extremely valuable body on the board by you using your set removal. So yeah, a very interesting card here. A question on how this interacts with the cards that say your opponent cannot activate in response to it being destroyed, but maybe this, I think this would supersede that. I'm reasonably sure. That definitely feels like the intention anyway. But yeah, this is a cool card. Again, it's just something you can show with Coup d'etat. You don't even necessarily need to use it, and it's just got good attributes. So, you know, I think this is perfectly good. And of course, if you haven't seen the video on Dreadnought, you can check that out up there. I recommend you give that a look, because Supernatural, with all this setting and stuff, is looking like it's gonna be quite a good deck. But there we go. Next, let's talk about this Skull Butler. So this is a Supernatural Dungeon Water and Darkness level 2. The name is actually Skull Bitch. Like, it's Skarubichi. I can't pronounce Japanese. Skarubichi. But, like, you know, it's literally Skull Bitch. I don't know what they were going for. Oh, my God. Hello. No idea what they were going for with that, but Orenji, in his infinite wisdom, has decided to localize this as Skull Butler for now, so as not to offend any little kiddies who are playing this game intended for 20 and up. So anyway, this is a 5/5/1, so the stats are alright. TD. Discard one card from your hand. If you do, put up to one non-legendary Demon Lord from your deck to your hand. Oh, so what this should read is discard a card, search Lucifer. This is powerful. I think that's fairly obvious. A direct searcher here, it's expensive. Realistically, Overlord is going to be where this is going to be best. And, you know, Overlord Genesis potentially. I don't know, because Genesis has a lot of those like discard synergies, which is quite nice. But then again, Overlord Darkness here, it's a darkness. And you're probably playing Lucifer anyway. But, you know, Overlord is tough. I don't know how you're managing all these level limits. So it's interesting. It's very interesting where this is going to see play. I think it's very good. You know, a generic search for any Demon Lord is going to be relevant. You know, it's any Demon Lord. And there are a lot of those now. It's not like, you know, when it was just Strider and like maybe one other card. There's probably like 10 Demon Lords now or something. So, you know, as the game goes on, this is potentially going to get more and more valuable. So absolutely always worth keeping in the back of your mind as an option. But at the moment, it's just pitch one, search Lucifer, which is kind of good. Next, we have got our Atlas Legend. It's not darkness. My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. This is a cool card. So it's Calavera, Little Red Bomber. It's an instant and a Demon Lord, so of course searchable through Skull Butler. It is a counter as well. Level 2, 5/5/2. The stats are good on a level 2. That is damn near close to vanilla stats. Counter, bombs for everyone. Choose one or more enemy units and divide 5 damage among them. So slightly worse zap, 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 but like functionally zap, zap, zap. Forced reveal. And when this enters play due to its forced reveal, you burn 2 to the opponent and burn 2 to yourself. This is a very cool card. And to an extent, I get why it's a legend, because if it wasn't, playing up to 4 copies of this might be silly. Would be silly. Like, you can just imagine, because if you just draw them all, like, it's just like, as soon as, like, if you go first, like, you can imagine a scenario where you just go first and you open, like, 3 of these, and so it's like, oh, GG. Like, be a bit silly. I think, I get why it's a legend. I don't think it's very... Look, this card strikes me as memey. And the problem with meme cards is they're either kind of shit or low-key broken. And I have no idea what this is. So we'll try it out. We'll see. My inclination is this is more on the meh side. It's just a cute option that could shock your opponent, could steal some wins. But I don't think it's particularly good. Worth saying, Atlas just has the worst legends in the game. What do they have? They have Win-Win, not very good. They have Hydra, probably the worst legend in the game. They have this, which is like on the lower end. And they have Captain Liberty, which is one of the best. But like besides Captain Liberty, what do they have? Options, please. We need better legends because Atlas has such good value. But by picking Atlas, you're locking yourself out of so many obscene tools that like other factions get access to. We need to get some good legends here. Anyway, next we have Realize. Level 2, Psychic. Standard action. Choose a level 0 or lower unit in your damage zone and special summon it. This is basically Normandy, but it's special summons. I don't think this is particularly strong. I think Normandy has also fallen off very heavily. Though I will say it's a lot better thanks to Overlord. But like, which is the problem when I make any sort of comment about a Gate Ruler card. Entirely possible a ruler will be revealed in the next like 6 months that suddenly makes this ridiculous. So, you know, at the moment, I don't think this is particularly good. Like, it's fine. Like, the advantage you got with Normandy was that usually you could do things like, you know, play an untapper, get that out, so you're healing 1 and you're untapping, so it's only costing you 1, and you can play something else because you haven't used all your summon caps or whatever. Like, it's fine. Like, it's fine. It's fine. There's nothing more to really be said than that. It's fine. Next, Rite of False God Exile. I love this card. So this is a level 0 supernatural incantation. The standard action, choose one unit you have in play and put it to the graveyard. If you do, choose one enemy unit with level equal to or less than the level of the unit you sent to the graveyard and destroy it. Now, I think this card is ridiculous, and let me tell you why. So, removal in Gate Ruler is really rare. And it makes sense here that something quite this generic is going to be very expensive. You know, you're losing your own unit. But let's consider here some of the tools that we have access to now in a deck that might build around this, right? For example, realistically, I think the most likely place is going to see good play, although I think it's very splashable, just as a good card. But the places it's probably going to be abused will be Trickster, Red, Pink. Now, what tools does that deck have that are going to make this really silly? Well, Ed. Ed is a level 4 unit whose entire value is basically independent of him as a unit, right? Like, his counter's very powerful, and he's going to get you free value when you play him by playing a unit from your drop. Once you've done all that, his value is in his attributes, into going into the Futuristic 4, or here, in letting you remove anything, because it's a level 4, so that's literally everything. Everything in the game can be removed. Another good target could be Kono Sakuyahime, I think it's called, the one that draws 2 on Special Summon or TDOD. That's really good, because once you've gotten that value, it's a 5/5/2, but it's not amazing, and that certainly I would happily sacrifice a 5/5/2 to like nuke a Mist Clock Dragon or like something just valuable on my opponent's board that they really don't want to die. So, you know, I think that's really good as well. And of course, I wasn't going to forget the most obvious synergy in Rikori, which is just silly, because then you're just, now it's not a wash. Now it's not an egg 1. Now it's just a wash in terms of value. It's just really good. Like, just pop, 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 pop. And obviously you have ways to revive your things that, you know, you sort of don't really care I just think this is very good as just in that deck in particular. And then as a generic tool, you know, don't sleep on just kill something, right? Like, yeah, it doesn't feel amazing and it's not counter speed or instant timing, but like, remove anything is good. Understand that. Okay, next we have got 2 options, and this is the card I think everyone and their mum is sleeping on. I think this card is absolutely absurd, and I seem to be the only one who thinks this. So maybe I'm just wrong, and hey, look, if this ends up being shit, ass on me, that's an L I'll take. I think it's not shit though. And I'll explain my reason, but let's read it first. So, as an incident, counter is draw a card. It's a level 1, so okay, 1 diverse, draw a card on a counter, level 1, alright. A standard action, choose one of the following. Either look at the top 5 cards of your opponent's deck and remove all cards with CNT among them from the game, then your opponent shuffles their deck. Or, if you have 1 or less cards in your hand and no set cards other than this one, draw 2. So, very nice recovery if you like draw it, you know, as a... Basically, like, if you're in top deck mode and you hit this, cool, you can do things, right? Like, it's going to let you plus. So, very nice in sort of the end game state when you're all out of resources, and very nice during the game as the counter because it's going to let you, you know, draw cards. It's a great counter. Now, here's where I think everyone doesn't understand how good removing counters from the game is. And I think maybe it's just me, right? So, look, the arguments I've read as to why this card isn't super good are it's RNG focused and your opponent shuffles the deck, so who cares? Which is sort of related to the RNG. So let's deal with the RNG thing. Yes, I will fully concede that there are going to be times you activate this card, you pay your cost, you look at the top 5, and oh shit, my opponent just had the fucking no counters there. Brilliant. That's going to happen. 1 counter, that's going to happen. That's not going to feel amazing. More often, though, and if you just look at, you know, baseline statistics, 16 counters in the deck, 32% of the deck, therefore, is counters. Realistically, you're, from a top 5 check, probably going to hit 2 more often than not. Maybe you'll hit more, but 1 to 2, slightly more often 2, is what you should be expecting from this card. So let's move forward with that assumption, okay? More often than not, you're going to hit 2 counters from this, 1 to 2 counters from this. Look, guys, every single counter in the game that is played at this point in set 3 is insane. Your opponent doesn't want to lose it. It's either highly disruptive or extremely important to the game plan or just ridiculous value. Let's give you some examples of all this, okay? It's highly disruptive. Your zaps, your eds, right? Your Buster Arm, all these big removal tools, right? That are very, very good as if you get them as a counter or even if you just play them. This is suddenly now that's one less your opponent has in deck, then much less likely to hit that counter. Maybe you don't have to play around it, okay? Your Space Caves, your Spider's Webs, the Resters, all these tools. That's one less your opponent has. That's affecting you directly in terms of your ability to go about dealing your damage. And don't forget, also, just as a function of removing those in particular counters from the game, your opponent is also less likely to heal at all. Then, of course, there's the cards that are just 100% critical to the game plan. Alice is a really good example of this, right? If I banish a level 2 Alice off of this, my opponent is going to be put on Suicide Watch. If I hit, an Alketa and a Shiori or something off of this, my Genesis Summon opponent is going to be on Suicide Watch. Now, I will say, Genesis Summon is probably moving away from that, but, it's still a thing. Far more relevantly, Darkness, oh my god, focus. I need to talk to the people. Darkness, if I banish Rex and Hades, or like Terminus and fucking, I don't know, whatever else Darkness plays, the new one, like the new Rex, that's gonna hurt. That's like actively critical pieces of the game plan that are, leaving, right? So that's big. Your opponent is actively losing pieces that are furthering their game plan. And finally, insane value, March of Darkness, now I'm thinking about Darkness, for example, or just cards that are really, really, really strong and are just going to, let your opponent, get free value. Taking that away is consequently going to stop your opponent getting further ahead or catching up to you, which will in turn further your game plan. On top of that, realistically, in a deck that plays this, you're going to be playing Ed. So you can expect 2 to 3 activations of this card. Now, I don't know about you, but over the course of the game, just straight up going fuck you to 6 counters in my opponent's deck sounds quite strong to me. And again, this is on top of the fact that, well, I can hold it if I want to until I can just get the draw 2 off of it. Or, I can just use the counter effect. Like in Trickster, I can just pitch this to draw a card. Fine, cool. I think this card is really, really good. However, I will fully concede that in testing, this card might be total shit, and we'll all sit there and we'll go you're a fucking idiot. Obviously, this was way too RNG reliant to be strong, and I'll be like, yeah, that's fair, that's fair. I will also say that we might get a ruler that lets you just use both abilities on a choose one at some point. Maybe that'll be too broken. I don't know. Anyway, there we go. Rant end. That's my opinion on this. Let me know what you think about this card and all the cards from today's video in the comment section down below. Please do use my affiliate link, it really does help. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, join my Discord server to talk about all the new cards as and when they get revealed. And I will see you guys in the next video. Cheers.